What's up? It's your boy Domuto. We back with another video today. We're watching the Mighty Emperor, Amy vs. Tails. What if Sonic Frontiers had a tournament part 3? This should have been good, bro. Been really good, and I'm ready to get into it, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let go.
The slight smile that Sonic bore on his face when sending off himself returns to a neutral position as he makes his way back over towards Tails and the others. Sonic's slightly surprised looking at Tails' face, which meets his with a scowl. When he asks what's up, Tails says that he's glad Sonic won, but he's frustrated that he's had to watch his buddy vanish again just like last time. Sonic puts his hand on Tails' shoulder and tells him that if he knows anything about himself, he's sure that his classic version will be doing fine.
Okay.
Surge, meanwhile, standing alone, gasps to herself, surprised that Sonic has managed to manifest this kind of power in a short amount of time. Without dallying for too long, the end is quick to announce the next match will be between General and Shadow. Cream looks to General and pleads with him not to attend the fight, but he responds saying that if he doesn't go, he will be removed anyway, and that means he wouldn't be able to watch over Cream, so he will fight, and walks his way onto the arena. Rouge, on the other hand, asks Shadow if he's alright with this, who, with his arms folded, closes his eyes, lowers his head, responds, and teleports onto the arena opposite General. Acknowledging his opponent, General says, "Shadow the Hedgehog, you shall be a tough opponent." Shadow merely responds saying, "I never expected to be facing against you like this again."
Aww.
General questions this. "I do not register a past conflict with you. Please elaborate." But Shadow knows that a fight is what's in store for them. So he remarks, "It was a different time in a different life. But enough of that. Let's get this over with."
Oh shit.
General stances up for combat while Shadow initiates a long-range attack. Chaos Spear! Launching his projectile towards General, who dodges it ever so slightly, ducking and weaving like a boxer. Shadow continues to send more Chaos Spears his way, but General proceeds to keep on ducking and weaving around them, slowly gaining on Shadow's position as he does so. Once close enough, General sends a bullet speed punch towards Shadow's face, who does manage to guard in time, but General then releases a volley of repeating punches like a piston over and over again, his mechanized joints allowing him to keep this up, and a couple punches find their purchase on Shadow. He retaliates with a chop to the head, but being made of metal, General ignores this and continues. To escape this situation, Shadow spin dashes.
I didn't give out my predictions. Shadow.
For a moment in the air, with enough force to repulse General back, as he slides across the ground facing Shadow, dust between them, eyeing each other up for round 2 as they re-engage and start trading attacks once again. As their fight continues, the crowd watches with intense interest. Whisper quietly mentions that they seem to be evenly matched, but Omega responds, "Incorrect. Shadow the Hedgehog is holding his power back." Knuckles is confused why he would do so in such a situation, but Rouge responds, "Isn't it obvious? Shadow isn't comfortable with this fight, but he knows what he must do." Cream, meanwhile, has remained strictly focused on the battle taking place. Shadow has just gained the upper hand, driving a high kick towards General's face. It appeared to miss, but the jet shoes spewed flames towards him, causing him to have to back down. Shadow then repeats the motion with his other foot, but General saw it coming and ducks low to deliver an uppercut punch towards Shadow, who also noticed General's movement and rolls to the side to get a clear shot at General's back.
Damn.
General, keeping up with the action, manages to block this just in time, and the two jump back to reset the situation. Staring each other down, General begins to rise into the air, and thanks to his shoes, Shadow does the same thing. Then in a flash, Shadow uses his homing attack to collide with General, unprepared, and unleashes a flurry of punches and kicks mid-air before driving General back with a powerful blow. General recovers from this with a somersault spin through the air, which in turn surprised Shadow, landing a powerful hit against him, knocking him back. But General then extends his right arm to punch Shadow as he's flying away. His left arm does the similar motion, except it grabs Shadow's foot, and using his new positioning, he swings Shadow down into the arena floor against the concrete. He then picks Shadow up with this extended arm and smashes him on the other side, finally retracting his arm, which brings Shadow right up towards him, where his free hand was waiting with a fist, smashing Shadow once he collides again, causing Shadow to drop down properly this time onto the ground. Wanting to finish this, General gives a double-handed swing as he descends to meet Shadow, but Shadow manages to jump back just in time and then deliver a quick punch towards the torso of General. This sends him off balance, allowing him to do a low leg sweep, tripping General up. However, General quickly rolls to the side and stands back up to prepare himself. Deep down, Shadow knows that he can't let this go on much longer. He's going to need his energy for the fights to come. And so he starts taking things seriously. As General charges forward once more, this time Shadow simply teleports behind him and strikes in the back, releasing a wave of chaos energy around his fist as he does so, sending the robot tumbling through the air. But without waiting, Shadow teleports to where he's headed and smashes him with both hands up into the sky, teleporting once more to drive a powerful drop kick down on top of General to send him careening towards the floor. Shadow teleports to the surface of the arena ahead of General and charges up a powerful weapon. Chaos! General's body is motionlessly falling towards the ground. Cream clenches her fists and calls out his name, and he weakly turns his head to see where it came from, but it's too late. Spear!
Damn.
A large, powerful chaos spear is unleashed from Shadow's hand,
his ass out,
sending
Shadow.
pieces of rubble from the arena flying left and right as it tears across the air towards General, meeting him slightly before he would have hit the floor, engulfing him with a powerful explosion. When the dust settles, his body lies facing the sky on the ground. Shadow walks towards him and says that he put up a good fight, and he'll handle the rest from here. General slowly turns his cracked face towards the audience to see Cream as the light from his eye turns off and he begins to dissolve. With his head hang low in respect, Shadow teleports off the stage. In the aftermath of General versus Shadow, Cream is distraught witnessing the defeat of her longtime guardian, on her knees and sobbing into the floor. Blaze and Amy are nearby and had tried to offer some comfort, but it did little to help the deepening hole forming in Cream's heart. She notices the appearance of a very iconic set of shoes belonging to Shadow appear by her eyes. He kneels down to tell Cream he promises that she will see General again.
Okay.
Before getting up slowly and walking back towards Team Dark. Jet the Hawk clutches his head, trying to stave off an incoming mental breakdown as the sheer gap in power between him and the other contestants truly begins to sink in. Knuckles turns to Sonic and Tails to tell them that this whole tournament thing's really starting to get on his nerves. And at this point, the end decides it's the prime opportunity to announce the next fight is going to be between Amy and Tails. Knuckles looks up to the sky and says, "Are you kidding me?" Meanwhile, Tails and Amy both look at each other, worried and pale. The other side of the arena, Eggman claps his hands. "Once again, an entertaining show for me. Get on with it, you lot. Don't keep our overlord waiting." Sonic points a finger and angrily scowls at Eggman. "Can it, Egghead?" But Eggman simply wields a broad smile. "Or what, you spiky nuisance? You want to fight me? Wait your turn." Amy shakily tells Tails that she doesn't want to have to do this, but Tails says that he can't figure out any way around it, and if they don't participate, they're both going to be captured. Sonic puts his hand on each of their shoulders and tells them that as long as they trust in each other, they're going to get out of this okay. Tails and Amy steel themselves and give each other a stern look as they walk together onto the tournament arena and then move to their separate sides. They nod at one another, readying themselves for battle. Amy starts things with a battle cry as she leaps towards Tails with her Pico Pico hammer held above her head, swinging it down towards Tails. Naturally, he saw this coming and leaps backwards to avoid the attack, but Amy isn't going to let him escape.
I don't know who's gonna win this one. I'm gonna go with Amy versus Amy strong. Amy cool. I feel like Tails kind of like I think Tails been around and knows all her moves, so I think he'll use something like that against her.
So easily and leaps right after him, swinging once more and grazing Tails. She then proceeds to swing once again, and the fox manages barely to duck under it to avoid the devastating blow. Choosing to escape this confrontation, he jumps up into the air and begins to fly to create some distance, but Amy still continues to hound him as she smashes her hammer into the ground as a vault, flipping high into the sky and swinging down against Tails, who's caught by the full face of her hammer and sent tumbling back towards the ground.
Damn.
Whilst Tails tries to pick himself back up, Amy extends her hammer to the side and begins spinning like a top, rapidly sending the hammer face first towards Tails as she descends in his direction. With a frightened face, Tails manages just to roll out of the impact site, but she hits the ground with such force she ends up rebounding into the air and landing on her feet. Tails tries to get some damage in by spin dashing, but Amy reflects, batting him with her hammer, launching him further away into the arena. Finally, with the time to breathe, Tails holds his body, bruised and hurt, as he looks towards Amy. She stares back with a cold face, shutting her emotions away to fight Tails. Tails thinks to himself that he needs to even the playing field. That hammer of hers hits almost as hard as Knuckles, and her agility allows her to keep on attacking. Once upon a time, Tails would have been able to outspeed Amy no issue, but these days, she's caught up a bit. He has a new idea though. If he can get rid of the hammer, he has a chance. And reaching in from under his glove, he has his portable dummy ring bomb, which he throws forward and it expands to its full size. Amy sees the attack coming and smashes it with her hammer, sending fake rings to her side. But Tails only used this as a ploy so that he could run up beside Amy and attack with his own. He swipes at her head with his tail, and then with his other, he hits her leg. The timing of which catches Amy completely off guard, allowing him to slap both sides of her head with his hands, stunning her for a moment, which is the prime opportunity for him to knock the hammer out of Amy's hand. He sighs with relief as he's about to follow up this attack, but suddenly, a fist plants straight into his face. He grips his head in sheer pain as Amy punches him once, twice, 3 times, and then delivers him an uppercut, knocking him onto the floor. Amy has been practicing boxercising for a long time, and so she's not completely defenseless without her hammer. Tails at this point is out of options. He's beaten, he's bruised, and he's on the floor.
My nigga Tails.
Amy has retrieved her hammer and stands over him, raising it up to drop it down. But before she does, her face twinges with regret, and she slowly lowers her hammer. From the audience, Eggman calls out, "Boo! Get on with it! You're only dragging out the inevitable, Amy." Her face is pained, and it looks like she's going to give up completely. Her arms drop, and the hammer just falls onto the ground. But Tails looks up at her, speaking through gritted teeth, telling her that he's not going to be the reason she gets imprisoned. She needs to do it. And hearing this, she brings the hammer down onto Tails' chest, knocking him out cold and ending the fight.
Yeah,
she quickly goes to try and help Tails up
rabbit.
as he begins to fade away. This would be a moment best reserved for quiet. But unfortunately, Zavok, Eggman, Infinite and the like are too busy laughing. This just makes Amy feel even worse as she drags her hammer back towards her friend's part of the audience. All of Amy's friends look at her in the face, and she tries to speak, feeling her voice waver. But before she gets a word out, Sonic steps forward and hugs her. And during this embrace, Amy begins to cry. Well, that was quite the episode, I think we can all agree. 2 action-packed fights with the emotion of sadness flowing strongly between them both. We've seen friends, new and old, have to put each other down today. Just what is the end planning? Well, we have to keep watching.
Damn,
if you
Sonic
want to
and
find
Shadow
out.
next round?
And
Damn.
that's going to
Yeah, I guess you didn't want to be no obvious choice. But yeah, Sonic and Shadow next round? Damn.
bring us to the end of this episode. So thank you so much for managing to make it all the way to the end of this video. Please like, please subscribe, and please comment.
Yeah, shout out to the Mighty Emperor for this video, man. This video is pretty interesting, and like I said, I'm learning about the Sonic universe while watching this video more and more. So I'm ready. So I'm ready to continue this video, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last chapter right here. Check out another video you might like right here. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.